Welcome back to The Explainer. Today we're diving straight into the deep end of the heavenly Tao, specifically focusing on this incredible metaphysical concept known as the Dharma Station. We're going to be decoding some truly intricate source material to bring you a crystal clear understanding of these ancient spiritual philosophies and really break down the mechanics of life, death, and ultimate spiritual liberation.
So, let's start with the big one. Have you ever wondered where exactly we go after death? Or maybe, why we're even here in the first place? It's the ultimate universal conundrum, right? The source texts we're looking at today tackle human mortality head-on. They propose that our existence isn't just some random blip on the radar. No, it's actually part of this massive, cyclical journey of the soul. And really, wrapping our heads around this journey is absolutely crucial to understanding the profound value of the Dharma Station.
All right, here's our roadmap for today. First up, the cycle of rebirth. Then, receiving the true Dharma. Next, we'll go inside the Dharma Station, followed by cultivating wisdom and merit, and finally, we'll wrap up with the ultimate liberation.
Section 1. The Cycle of Rebirth, the Universal Dilemma. The source texts point out a really fundamental human dilemma. It doesn't matter if you're a king or a commoner, life inherently involves suffering, specifically what's known as the 8 sufferings, which include birth, aging, sickness, and death. There's this incredibly striking ancient proverb in the text that hits the nail on the head. Ghosts fear birth, people fear death. Just think about the profound irony there for a second. When a person dies, they become a spirit, and spirits are absolutely terrified of being reborn into this physical world of suffering. But then, once reborn as a human, well, that human spends their entire life terrified of death. It's like this terrifying, endless loop of anxiety just bouncing back and forth between the physical and spiritual realms.
To further drive home this lack of control, the teachings actually quote the ancient philosopher Chuang Tzu. He said, "Didn't want to be born, suddenly born. Didn't want to die, suddenly death arrives." Wow. I mean, it perfectly illustrates that we really don't govern our own entry into or exit from this world. And it's exactly this total lack of control over our own existence that creates such a vast ocean of suffering in the human condition. We're essentially just being swept along the currents of karma and rebirth, over and over again.
Moving on to Section 2, Receiving the True Dharma, the Solution. So if the endless cycle of rebirth is the problem, what's the solution? Well, the texts present a metaphysical sanctuary known as receiving the true Dharma. Now, you'll often see the lotus used here, a flower that grows right out of the mud but remains perfectly clean. It's the classic symbol of maintaining purity in a tainted world. The text explains that receiving the Dharma actually involves an enlightened master, opening up your innate, unclouded wisdom with just a single point. It's literally an awakening of your true self, your Buddha nature, which has basically been clouded over by lifetimes of ignorance and worldly desires.
But here's the catch. Receiving this point is really just the beginning. It's definitely not some magic spell that does all the heavy lifting for you. The text lays out a very practical step-by-step path you have to take immediately after. Step 1 is study the Dharma. You have to actively learn and understand these universal truths. Step 2 is cultivate the Dharma. This one's internal. It's all about fixing your bad habits and refining your character. And finally, step 3 is practice the Dharma. This is external. It means taking what you've learned and actually applying it to help and guide others.
All right, Section 3. Inside the Dharma Station, the altar's code.
So, where does all this practice actually take place? Well, inside the Dharma Station. But as the source texts reveal, the Dharma Station is way more than just a physical building. Literally every element inside is a coded spatial metaphor. Right at the center is the upper table. This represents the ultimate nirvana, what the text calls the absolute void, represented by the number 0. Yet, at the exact same time, it represents the genesis of all things, the number 1. Sitting right there is the supreme lamp, representing the ultimate creator and the initial spark of divine life. And surrounding it, you've got Buddha statues serving as models of enlightened beings, and eternal lotus lamps. So when you look at it, it's literally a visual map of the entire cosmos and our spiritual origins.
This brings us to Section 4, Cultivating Wisdom and Merit, the Dual Path.
How do we actually align ourselves with these massive cosmic truths? Well, the teachings state that successful spiritual practice requires a really delicate balance, a dual path. There's this brilliant ancient analogy in the text that shows us exactly why this balance matters. Think about these two extremes. On one side, we have the Arhat, a monk who cultivated immense inner wisdom and enlightenment, but totally neglected to help others. The result? He achieved a super high spiritual status, but lived his physical life as a starving beggar. On the flip side, you have the king's elephant, In a past life, this soul gave endlessly to charity, building up immense merit, but never bothered to cultivate any inner wisdom or self-control. And the result of that? Reborn with incredible wealth as a pampered royal pet, sure, but entirely trapped in the body of an animal?
So, the absolutely crucial takeaway here is that we have to practice both simultaneously. Let's break that down. Cultivating wisdom is the internal work. It's strictly about changing your bad habits, keeping your temper in check, and restoring your own inner spiritual perfection. On the other hand, cultivating merit is the external work. It's the physical act of stepping outside yourself to help, guide, and literally save others. You see, internal refinement absolutely must be perfectly paired with external good deeds.
And finally, Section 5, the ultimate liberation, transcending rebirth.
When a practitioner successfully balances both wisdom and merit, they unlock the absolute highest benefit of the Dharma Station. The text gives us this incredibly powerful quote regarding that ultimate liberation. If you know where the heart resides, suddenly the cycle of life and death ends. Now, keep in mind, heart here doesn't mean the physical organ beating inside your chest. It's referring to locating your true spiritual center, that divine essence that the Dharma awakened. The very moment you truly anchor yourself in that eternal truth, all your worldly anxieties just evaporate. And that heavy karmic wheel that forces you to keep being reborn, it shatters entirely.
The teachings describe this ultimate escape through a truly fascinating metaphysical shift. When you sincerely receive the Dharma and cultivate it, it is said that your spiritual destiny is literally rewritten. Your name is actually struck right from the registry of the underworld, meaning you are no longer subject to the 10 courts of karmic judgment. Instead, your name is recorded in the heavenly registry. You have, quite literally, transcended the cycle.
It's an incredibly empowering philosophy, isn't it? The Dharma Station isn't just a place of worship. According to these sources, it is an active, powerful mechanism for spiritual transformation and ultimate freedom. So I'm going to leave you with this final, provocative thought. Knowing the powerful currents of life and mortality, will you take the step to break your cycle and rewrite your own spiritual destiny? Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. Keep learning, keep questioning, and I'll see you next time.